Okay, so I am going to work on demoing the sky portion of the Snowy Barn painting in the Paintworks magazine. I have my canvas. It's base coated with one coat of zinc. It's a gray color, Deco Art paints, and I base coat it and let it dry. So now I'm going to go ahead and start the sky. I am using a bristle flat brush. That's what a bristle flat brush looks like. This is like a number 12. You'll note that fine art brushes, longer handled brushes, their numbers aren't equal. So a number 12 in one brand isn't necessarily a number 12 in another brand. So about this big, not, you know. So I'm taking my brush and back into my zinc, and I'm going to paint, rebase the canvas. I'm re-wetting it with paint. And I'm doing it in this circular motion just to give the sky some movement. So just kind of cover it all in. It's a very loose technique. The whole painting is a very loose painting. It's very free and easy. It's not very structured. Okay, getting the whole thing. I'm just going down to my snow lines. I'm not going to go all the way down the bottom of the canvas. So just go down, go over your snow lines though. Your arm will get tired doing these circular motions. So instead of using just your wrist, sometimes it's easier to use your whole arm to make these movements. So go ahead, get that covered in. And now I'm taking my dirty brush, not rinsing it, not doing anything. And I'm just going to take it into the white. And, excuse me, I am going to start on top. Put some circles of white here. I know, looks lovely. Just add some in. So we want to keep this canvas wet. So now I'm just going to start blending this into the sky. So the sky is, you know, quite a bit of the painting. So take some time with it. This isn't a 2-minute sky. I mean, it's not a 2-hour long sky either, but take some time getting the colors blended how you want. Just keep working on it so you can see big, ugly first grader mess going on here. And just remember, working with acrylics, the color does dry a shade darker than it looks when it's wet. So this whole sky will be a little bit darker when it does dry. And that's fine. We can always go back and adjust it. If it's got dried too dark or if it dried too light, we can go back with other colors, and I'll show you how to do that. So I went back into my regular zinc gray and started bringing some of that back in to get rid of these lines I have going. And now I'm going to take some Payne's Gray, which I have right here in my palette, dirty brush again, and I'm going to use this on the bottom of the canvas where the snow is. It's kind of okay. And I'm going to blend this up, make the bottom darker and the top lighter. If your brush is too small, it's going to be hard to get this sky done. It'll dry. You won't be able to move as much paint as quickly as you need to, so it'll dry on you faster. So it's much easier having a larger brush. Even larger than this is fine. Larger brush is better than smaller. Okay, bringing this down, making sure I'm going over my snow line. I don't want a halo around those hill lines. So I'm going to let that dry. And then for about, 10-15 minutes, we'll come back and do see if we need another coat or not. Alright, so it's all dry, and I am going to start dry brushing a little bit of the white back in, and then some of the cad yellow you also see up in the sky. So I'm taking my scumbler brush. It's a domed bristle brush, a round bristle brush, kind of like a stencil brush. And then you just take your brush, you just dip it in the white paint, you smear it around on the palette, and then you take a paper towel, and you're going to take most of that paint off. I do have these brushes on my website if you have a hard time finding them. And I'm going to start up top here, and I'm just going to kind of where it's already light on my I'm just going to lighten it a bit more. Same circular motion. So you can see my brushes, and I'm just moving it around. Okay. I'm not pressing very hard on the canvas, and if I press too hard, I'll have too much white coming off. So just very lightly brighten the sky up in places. I'm going to put some over here because there's another natural light spot. And just add some white back in. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do that same with a little bit of cad yellow here and there, just a tiny bit. So I'll put some cad yellow on my canvas. I'm not even washing my brush because I don't want any water on my brush. So I'm just going right into the yellow, same way, same way, and then I'm wiping it off on the paper towel here. And then I'll put a little in here. Okay, see how that just brightens it up a bit? And some in here a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. Okay, and then you either can take this brush again and dry brush Payne's Gray on the base here, or we can put that in wet. So just taking a bristle flat again, it's a little bit smaller one. I'm getting water on my brush and I'm making this wet. And I'm just going to do the circular motions at the base of the sky. And I don't really want a line to form, so I'm rinsing my brush out. And I'm just going to kind of start up top and get rid of this line down here. And I'll put some over here. So the whole sky is done in these circular motions. And just kind of blending it out to nothing to get rid of that line.